This year's NFL Draft is in Pittsburgh. The three-day event begins tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. We'll have every pick once again on ESPN, along with our usual expert analysis. It's also available on the NFL Network. And as always, ABC's coverage focuses on the prospect journey to the draft. To a team with plenty at stake tonight, the Cowboys. They hold 2 picks in the first round. The Cowboys have no plans to pursue a long-term deal with franchise tag wide receiver George Pickens after he posted a career year. Dallas placed a non-exclusive $27.3 million franchise tag on Pickens in March that he still has not signed. Here's Executive Vice President Stephen Jones on the Pickens contract dilemma.
Mày không có cái cơ hội nào đâu. Con trôi lợn này ơi.
Let's start with the fact it's not easy.
Ngày đại thắng con này phải bắt con phải 3 cân cơ. Cứ kẹp xảo cái dây này nhá. Con chấm cỏ 3 cân đâu.
Especially when you have other great players on your team. A quarterback that's been here, being the highest paid player in this league for many years now. That's part of it. The other thing is the newness of George being here.
Một con rô đồng nữa nhá, thành 2 con nhá, vàng như chanh. Mình thích câu cái loại này lắm. Con đủ nồi canh ngại cứu cho vợ yêu rồi. Vợ yêu và yêu.
Đoạn này là chán quá, vừa ngồi vừa luyện linh đam rồi. Nhưng mà anh em để ý cái nhịp pha của con cá trôi lớn nó ăn rất nhẹ nhàng thế này này.
Đấy rồi, to rồi. Đấy rồi, to rồi. Trời ơi, đừng chạy đi đâu nữa. Mày đi đâu, mày đi đâu. Đừng chạy nữa. Nào, ui giời ơi, ui giời ơi.
They are not going to pursue a long-term deal with George Pickens. We have Mina and RC back here with us. So with all this news going on with Pickens, Ryan, what do you think the Cowboys should do tonight?
Well, first off, like, God bless the Jones family. They just keep giving you content even when they don't need to give it to you. Stephen Jones didn't have to announce to the world that they weren't trying to do a deal with George Pickens. They could have just let George Pickens play under the franchise tag. I mean, they out here like Sway Lee talking about somebody come get her, she dancing like a stripper. I mean, listen, if you're in a relationship, you don't go tell the world, yeah, like, I like her, but I ain't finna marry her. There's something about George Pickens and being within that locker room that they are saying, okay, he has to go prove it again. He was the best wide receiver on this team last year. So what they're telling me, at least in my mind, is we're going to draft a wide receiver if Jordan Tyson is there at number 12. And if we draft a wide receiver at number 12, what we're hoping is someone was sitting at home last year watching the film of George Pickens play on the level of Jamar Chase, play on the level of Justin Jefferson, and they're going to be willing to give us a draft pick, whether it be in this draft or the next draft, that we can now continue to build a team with. But to me, when you put this news out there, there are teams who know that maybe if a Sonny Styles fall or maybe if an Arvell Reese falls, you're not going to put together a package to move up and get them. And hell, if we want to make a big splash, let's say Jeremiah Love gets past number 5, you think, let's just add
này lôi thêm thằng để Long xuyên săn hàng ra
because
nha anh
we
em
might
nhé,
not
cho
have
nó bắt được mấy con.
George Pickens. You're not even trying to do that. And so to me, to let this information get out is to say that we want to move George Pickens within this draft, and they're going to have to now focus and draft accordingly. But to me, you do not reach. If a wide receiver falls to you at 12, namely Jordan Tyson, I believe you make that move. If not, you draft the best player available for a defense that needs a ton of work.
Mina?
Chúc mừng năm mới.
The Jones family had to do a presser to get the word out. I mean, their phones work, right? They know the other owners and GMs in the league. This to me just, I felt like they were pre-justifying to their fan base what might happen in this draft, which is the possibility they might take a receiver and look to trade Pickens. And if they do that, if they got Jordan Tyson and they got a significant draft pick for Pickens, honestly, I would praise them. That would be good business on their part. As far as those 2 picks go, though, there are a lot of needs on defense with this team. We talk about this really, it's been a few years now, but they could go edge, they could go linebacker, they could go safety, they could go corner. Yes, I am naming every single position on defense because they need all of them. So I do think that if you're Dallas, you want to consider holding on to those picks. Possibly I would consider moving up for Arvell Reese, but that's it.
Con cái mẹ lúc
we're talking about the Cowboys here.
Vãi cứt mẹ chạy như con sâu.
RC is phenomenal.
Con mẹ lộn.
So much when it comes to football.
Singing is not your gift.
Nó bị chạm cước.
Cái mẹ sông da trắng như mây, loại này mà mang về làm gọi gì nuốt chừng khỏi phải nhanh luôn, nó cứ phải gọi là nước mắt.
Con trôi đâu?
I'm here for you, my brother. I'm here for you. We all have a gift. That ain't yours, okay? Let's get that out there, right? Now that we've said that, let's say this, okay? Like Mina said, they need everything on defense. They need an edge rusher, right? They need a linebacker. They need a cornerback. We know they have a multitude of needs, right? Here's my problem with the Dallas Cowboys. They're so interested in the damn headlines. They're so interested in the damn sizzle. They never realize the rippling effect it has on the franchise. You got a quarterback that's been on the record saying he wants George Pickens back. You got a guy in CeeDee Lamb that says he wants his teammate back, all right? You got this stuff. Now, that doesn't mean that you make those decisions based on what players want, but if you got high-end producers on the offensive side of the ball and you know that you've developed that kind of chemistry and you're clicking, you certainly don't want to get in the way of that. And if you're going to get in the way of that, then you handle it differently. You don't handle it in similar fashion to what you did with Micah Parsons, because before long, stuff gets in the way. Like, for example, when you made your trades mid-season, had you done it a couple of weeks earlier, you might have had a shot at making the playoffs, but you waited. And so I just look at them and I just say to myself, okay, if you're going to do something, do it. You want to draft a wide receiver, fine. You want to use these 2 picks on the defensive player, fine. But what you do is you'll go ahead after franchise tagging George Pickens. You move on from him. Why? Because you know you don't want that brother in your locker room because of the way you handled it, how salty he is going to be, the likelihood of him being on the football field making business decisions because he's got a long-term deal that he's aspiring for. So there's certain things that he would do on the football field that he may not do this year that he was willing to do last year. All of these things play a role, and Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones never seem to think about that nearly as much as they think about these press conferences that generate headlines, that make them the center of attention, which is, I'm not telling you anything I haven't told them to their face. It's what they do, but they're going to do it anyway. Period.
Jets do. If the Jets take Reese, maybe somebody wants to trade up for Bailey. If the Jets take Bailey, maybe somebody wants to trade up for Reese. So that could determine what the Cardinals can get. If the Cardinals stick and pick Jeremiah Love, now it's 4 to the Titans. I've been told Titans are defense, pass rusher, or wide receiver. Now, if Jeremiah Love gets to them, could they take him and say, well, we got our offensive playmaker instead of wide receiver? But I think if it goes, Fernando Mendoza, Jets pass rusher, Jordan Love, then I think the Titans probably take the remaining pass rusher from Bailey and Reese. And then the Giants are sitting there at 5 and also 10 following their trade with the Bengals. The Giants would, I believe, consider Jeremiah Love if he's there. They also really like Caleb Downs, the safety from Ohio State, and Sonny Styles, the linebacker from Ohio State. So the Giants in a good position. They may have to sit there and say, we like this guy. Is he going to even be there at 10 for us? Should we take him at 5 and then regroup over the next 5
What's
picks?
fascinating, some scouts will consider Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Love the 2 best players in this draft. It's just the positions that they play.
Right.
And
aren't generally drafted high.
Exactly.
Right.
Especially what you're paying out in that first contract. And Jordan, let's talk about that with Jeremiah Love. The idea of 3 for a running back and the amount that you're paying him on that first-year deal.
Under no circumstance can you take Jeremiah Love number 3.
Correct.
You're going to owe him $50 million in guaranteed money. That's more than Saquon, more than Christian McCaffrey, more than Derrick Henry. You can't do that, especially when you don't have a quarterback. You don't have an offensive identity right now. You can't add a player like that and expect to then take the next step with a running back. It doesn't happen. And I love Jeremiah Love as a prospect, but also he's not a generational player. If you go back and look at college, he didn't do great against the best defenses he played. He got shut down last year in a bowl game. I mean, that early 2025 against Ohio State had 8 total yards. Miami shut him down week 1, and then they didn't really play anybody after that. So I didn't see the production against elite defenses that tells me that's a generational player. No matter if the value doesn't match, you take him at 3 or top 5. I just don't see it.
And it looks like somebody fed you some food you didn't want to eat. What's your reaction
Come on,
to
Dano.
this? With Jeremiah Love.
Oh, man. Good morning. Good morning. Pittsburgh's amazing. And so is Jeremiah Love. I'm going to start with this. The draft, to its inception, to its genesis, is to acquire talent. Not to get the best value versus certain positions or whatnot. It's for the bad teams to get the good players and the good teams to get the less good players.